Thanks, Eric. Now, music programs in schools have not only helped students earn scholarships to colleges and universities, but have given them an outlet to express their creativity. The masterminds behind those programs are the directors who make a difference. So much so that the School Band and Orchestra magazine has named a Palmetto State educator as one of the few across the U.S. Joining us today is AC Flora High School Orchestra Director Jarvanique Tinsley, who was chosen as one of those who make a difference. Jarvanique, thank you so much for being here.
It's no problem. Thank you for having me.
Well, I just want to go ahead and dive into your musical journey. I know that you play the violin. Walk me through that.
So, I actually play multiple instruments. I play violin, saxophone, and piano as my main instruments. But getting into music was, I wouldn't say it was a choice. It was just something that was inside of me, and it said do it, so I did it.
Awesome. And you pivoted to education.
Yes.
How did you come across of like deciding I'm gonna be a music professor? Well, excuse me, teacher.
It's all good. So for starters, I was at Presbyterian College and I majored in performance, but my orchestra director in college was actually like, you should be a teacher. And I was like, at first, no, can't do it, won't do it. But then as I got older, I realized that I wanted to share a passion of music with others, and the best way to do it is teaching. So that's how I got into it.
Tell me about that passion. Tell me about how music speaks to you personally and why share it with other people, specifically kids.
So for starters, most people just listen to music when they're doing tasks. It's like, I'm gonna put on music to wash dishes, I'm gonna put on music to clean the house. But if you just sit down and listen to music, you can tell it provokes emotions.
Right.
Yeah, and it's emotions that you can't really get in like everyday life, sadly.
Yeah, I totally understand that. And you are, in the magazine article, you talk about your proudest moment as an educator. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so at first when I got into education, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how this is gonna go, but I'm gonna just be me and let's see how it works. And you can tell that once you share that with others and it starts to click, it's just such a great feeling, and I don't think anything in the world can replace that.
Yeah, and you were one of 50 plus people to be chosen across the U.S.
Yes.
Walk me a little bit through that application process. I know that we were talking a little bit behind the scenes, and you told me that you didn't even know that you were selected, that you were nominated. So tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so I got an email, and the email said to give off some information. This is going to go in our magazine, and I'm going to need this ASAP. I procrastinated, I did, but then I eventually turned it in, and I got another email about the magazine, and I was like, this is actually real. Went to one of my coworkers, and I had to ask him because he is a band guru, and I was just like, wow, this is actually a huge deal. So huge that I had to tell every other coworker at my school. So yeah, that was pretty much the process. It was a shock.
And after you found out that you were named to this huge honor, what was the process like? Did they interview you? Did you have to do did you have to go somewhere and speak to people? Like what was that?
Oh, so I actually didn't have to interview. I didn't have to speak to anybody. I told a couple of my higher ups, and they put it in the Richland One pages across every social media platform. Mm-hmm. And then even my wife had to show me because I barely check social media.
Okay.
And apparently it was a huge deal. So the more that I saw how it impacted others, I realized that this wasn't just a minor accomplishment.
And we obviously, I talked about how music influences us. You touched a little bit about that as well. Why is it so important to continue music programs across the U.S.? I know that when I was in school, I was part of a music program. It impacted me so much, but you as an educator, you know.
Yeah. So music, if you stick with music throughout your entirety of school, it can actually help you across other genres. Since music is a language, it can help you in English, math, because we do nothing but count. It can help in history because we learn about the different periods in music. So if you stick with it, you will realize how much it crosses over to other subjects.
Awesome. And what is your goal when teaching these students? What do you want them to walk away with?
So I always tell my students that I don't expect perfect. Because nobody's perfect. The only thing I expect is progress. And if you are showing me you're giving 100%, we both can go home happy.
I know,
I'm
that's
okay with
right. Well, we are going to take a quick break, but please do not go anywhere. We have a very special performance by Jarvinique that you do not want to miss. Stay with us. We'll be right back.